Boom, baby. We are live. Got a special edition of my show here with my good friend, Mr. Sterling Cooper. What's up, man?
Good to be back again, John. It's been ages.
Yeah. I have not, I think I have not done YouTube since like sometime in October. I've done 2 shows. I did one with King Dre, and I did one with Troy Francis, and then I'm doing one with you. And we're going to be talking about your Dirty Talk program. So for you guys that don't know, me and Sterling have been friends since 2019, and I helped him with some initial stages of getting his personal brand off the ground, which is booming now because Sterling is a very hardworking and dedicated man. He's known for his famous book, How I Grew My, is it dick or penis?
PP.
Penis? How I Grew My Penis, and Sterling grew his dick over 1 inch, was it?
Mm-hmm.
He increased
1.2 over the course of like 8 months.
1.2 over the course of 8 months. Like adding more than an inch to your dick in 8 months. I mean, even if it took a year, that's hard to do, but it takes a lot of discipline, but it's respectable. And then, he's got all the receipts in the world because he's a world-renowned porn star. But today we're going to talk. I just really trust Sterling, and I met him in real life. He's actually a really good person. I really do not deal with crappy individuals anymore. Like as soon as I discover they're just a shit person, it's just like out. And so Sterling here is going to talk to you about his course. Now, I'm going to say this. I have read his book, How to Grow Your Penis. Phenomenal book. Like amazing book. It is $97, I believe. Is it still 97?
That's correct.
Correct. So it's $97. Really good book. I've read it front to back. I have seen Sterling's dick. If you type in Sterling Cooper on website, you'll see his dick too because he's a porn star.
You know how I know you'll get.
So Sterling has that, and then he has another course, which is the sexual domination course, and that course is something else too. The detail that you go into in your sexual domination course is insane. I didn't even know you could put your whole hand like this into a girl's vagina and go like that to make them fucking gush out like all over your bed sheets.
I call that one the puppet master. You make them fucking talk,
So I have tried a lot of those sexual techniques in his course as well, and it is unbelievable. So the links to all those things are in the description box below. And it's not like I'm trying to sell this shit, right? I'm just telling you, I have verified all of this stuff personally. And I only deal with high quality men who provide high quality education. I am not in the whole YouTube, this guy's popular, this guy gets a lot of super chats, this guy is blah, blah, blah. I don't give a shit about that. I care about men getting educated to increase the quality of their life. And that's what Sterling does. Please just tell us what you're bringing to the table with this Dirty Talk program, Sterling.
Well, thank you, John. It's like, to start with, the whole point of, starting my YouTube channel, and you encouraged me to do that, over a year ago now, is I just had so many guys DMing me with like bedroom problems, or they wanted advice and advice on how to get their woman off and all that kind of stuff. And obviously being in the red pill space, I'm like, dude, you just see so many dudes who are struggling, who need help, and it's like, well, who the fuck else is going to help these guys?
Your mic is pressed against your collar, just so you know.
Thank you.
That little white section. So go ahead.
Got it. Thank you. Yeah, like who else is going to help these dudes? So that's kind of my focus these days has been, look, helping dudes get over any kind of performance issues they got in the bedroom, and then helping them lay pipe properly, helping. I'm actually, if I'm being perfectly honest, what I'm really doing is helping women more because I'm getting them off. I'm like the Genghis Khan of orgasms over here.
Yes.
Like they all kind of trace back their lineage to me and the shit I'm teaching out here. But this new Dirty Talking course, there's a couple of reasons I popped this out. One, I had a whole bunch of people asking me specifically to do something on dirty talk, because a lot of guys kind of struggle with it or are a bit uncomfortable with it. And I think that's the first reason why I put this thing out, is because there's a strong connection, right, between the language that we use on a day-to-day basis and our belief systems, right? And I had a lot of dudes, especially after the sexual dominance escalation course dropped, I had a lot of guys who would email me and say things like, I never thought I could be this guy in the bedroom, like do these things. Because they didn't, believe that they were that guy, right? But they act on these things, they do these different techniques I teach or whatever, and then surprise, surprise, they get results. And with the fundamental thing about this dirty talking course is it's not only, obviously I teach you guys how to say perverted shit that's going to get her aroused and get her off, right? That's the crux of the course. But subtly through all this, I'm also kind of brainwashing you guys. I'm also trying to get you guys to the point where you're fundamentally believing that this is who you are now. And that's a big point. Like I said before, the language that we use on a daily basis, I mean, you're a perfect example of it, John. Like the way you self-talk,
yes.
Okay, reinforces a strong, positive, confident self-esteem, right?
Yep.
And so I encourage guys to do that. And so when I teach dudes all this stuff in this dirty talking course, it's reinforcing the idea that, yes, that is who you are now. You are this dominant, perverted, sexually aggressive kind of guy, this exuding this masculine energy in the bedroom. Because too many fucking dudes are running around today just completely cucked, completely soy boyed, completely feminized by what predominantly Western culture. We need to undo this shit.
Right. Yeah, we definitely do. And that's the thing. When I talk to you about the way I had sex, right? I just kind of thought everybody fucked like we do, in the sense of like, because I rough them up a little bit. I'm not like in a illegal way, but like, I get dominant, you know what I mean? And sometimes I like to bite. Sometimes I like to get aggressive. I like to pin their arms down. I like to, obviously in a consensual manner, for all the fucking Nazis out there ready to swarm on me. Jesus Christ, people they need to vax up. But that it was having that conversation with you, to be honest with you, was like, I was like, I don't know, man, is Sterling gassing me up? Like, and I just was trying to like really understand, because I compare my sexual performance to a guy like you, right? And so then I think, fuck, I got some room to improve. But you said that the average guy really is just, why don't you describe in your perspective, because you're literally a sexual expert. What is like the average soy dude out there? How is he fucking? How is he having sex with these girls?
The average dude is like, like 5 minutes in missionary position with like the lights off. Like when you talk to women and then you realize this when you're the guy who comes in and gives her an experience that she's never had before. And when you're able to do that with lots of women consistently, you're like, oh, dudes aren't doing this. Dudes aren't choking bitches properly. They aren't pulling their hair properly. They aren't like, spanking them properly or spanking them enough.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of dudes are, and I think part of this is to do with the whole Me Too thing, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of guys out there who are very, very paranoid about potentially getting into some, allegation if they are a bit too aggressive with a woman in the bedroom.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I think the important thing for guys to understand is that it's kind of a paradox. Like I ain't ever getting like any kind of allegation like that, precisely because I'm giving her the kind of aggressive sex that she actually is craving. and that's another thing. So many women are craving that masculinity in their life because the Western world has sucked it out of their everyday life. So the only place you can really give that to a woman anymore is in the bedroom. It's the only place where a guy is allowed, quote unquote, allowed to be masculine anymore.
Why? You know what's so funny, right? A friend of mine who's completely unrelated to you, right? He said the exact same thing. And he says, like, the last fucking bastion of masculinity in the West is, the bedroom. Um, you know, because they're like they're trying to like make masculinity illegal in the West, and that's why the West is circling the drain. And I, for one, look forward to the demise. But going back to the topic at hand, like this right here, I don't. This is clearly bad data and a lie. This says the average length of sex is 20 minutes, including foreplay, according to studies here in the UK. Baffling data. I would challenge that with all my net worth. I don't believe that for 1 second. What do you say?
I think that does not sound like the. I don't know who the average they're taking that from.
Yeah.
From what I've heard, that is absolutely nothing like the case.
Right. I don't trust this data. This needs to be verified, but I would bet my entire net worth that this is absolutely fucking lie. Especially if it's self-reported. Self-reported data. Okay, yeah. That's like believing when your girlfriend's like, "Yeah, I've only fucked this number of dudes." Like, all right. Science.
Yeah, and a lot of dudes grossly overestimate their kind of capabilities in the bedroom, and they grossly overestimate their performance in the bedroom. Mm-hmm. Like that has actually been studied. I'm working on another book right now. Like when guys they're gonna get couples to like report like the length of sex, the dude tends to like report over like on average the dude reports the sex lasting 2 to 3 minutes longer than it actually did. Mm-hmm. Yeah, maybe 5 minutes of foreplay and 2 minutes of sex. Look,
that I believe.
And here's the other thing, right? With dirty talk, you can use it as like both part of the foreplay to really ratchet up and jack up the intensity of that foreplay, and you can also include it in the sex act itself. Now, here's the thing: like on average, women tend like, and I don't know. This is some data I think it's a little bit skewed as well. Depends upon if you know what you're doing or not. But on average, they say that women take somewhere like 10, 15 minutes to like reach an orgasmic state, right? And that can include like foreplay and things.
Right.
The easiest way to get that number down is by tapping into this thing here between her ears.
Right.
That's her biggest sexual organ. And that is actually why all of the physical stuff I teach in the sexual dominance escalation course works as well, ironically, is because it's tapping into the subconscious. It's tapping into that primal need, that primal desire to be taken, right? But the verbal side of it does the exact same thing. The dirty talking side of it, you can tap into this deep, dark psychological part of female sexual nature, mm-hmm. which just ratchets their arousal up to 11.
Right.
And it gets them off way quicker. Hmm. You know, if there's a shortcut to getting women to orgasm, it's knowing what dirty, perverted shit to whisper into her ear and how to baby step her into even more maybe humiliating, degrading kind of shit. Because I sure don't know a lot of women who get off on that.
So listen, is that now is the dirty talk universal, or is it woman by woman?
You guys don't donate $100 right now. You're a beta male. You're a cuck. You're blue pill for life.
Oh fuck!
You're gonna send me $1,000 in donation right now.
I missed that sticker.
A little rusty. I haven't streamed in like a while.
You have to ask that question again. I missed it.
Just sorry, Judd Grover, $2 super chat. No, babe, I only have eyes for you. #verified LMAO. Guys, you don't send super chats or anything. If you really want to be noticed, whatever you want, then send a super chat. Fine, I'll read it. But I really don't need it right now. This is more about teaching you guys what Sterling has to offer. So if you can just send any money, just apply it to one of his courses. No, well, Jesus Christ, I got thrown off too.
I think you're asking if it's universal.
Right. So dirty talk for girl A is maybe not the same as dirty talk for girl B, right? What
So I'm glad you said that. So what I do in this course is I give guys a bunch of different frameworks to operate within. Because one of the problems that a lot of dudes come to me with is I don't know what to say in the bedroom, right? That's problem number one. And problem number two is because they don't know what to say, they're hesitant about what to say. Their delivery comes across bad. They come across creepy. They come across incongruent, and it's not sexy and seductive, right? Mm-hmm. So I give guys a bunch of different frameworks they can go through, starting at a the really simple stuff and progressing all the way up to the more intense, degrading, humiliating stuff, which might not be for every single girl.
Right.
But the stuff on the smaller side of the spectrum will ratchet up every girl because you're tapping into her imagination. You're tapping into all of her different senses, like her taste, her sight, her sound, like her touch. You're making her pay attention and focus to all these things, right? And then you're tapping into her imagination. You're describing scenarios. You're telling her what to do. You're commanding her in certain ways. And then because these things are universal for all women. These things will get all women off. And then there's a subset of women who really, really get off on the more degrading, humiliating kind of aspect of dirty talk. And I have a couple of demonstration clips to show you today if you want. But
yeah, hell yeah.
While we're on the topic, I'll show you this one while we're on the topic because it's exactly like on point.
Yeah, I had a question. Fuck, it was like basically, do you teach? All right, give me an elevator pitch. Why should a guy care about dirty talk with a woman and learn how to get her off sexually? Why should he? What's the benefit?
I'll tell you why. And it's actually got nothing to do with getting her off sexually. The main reason why a guy should learn how to dirty talk properly is because of the frames that he can set in that relationship. So, what do I mean by that? When you're whispering all kinds of perverted, dirty shit into her head during the act of sex, this is setting the frame for the future of that relationship, especially if it's the first time you have sex with. But the idea is, okay, because guys are always running around complaining about women not being like submissive, women not being feminine, they're getting like a more masculine version of her. Well, if you embed this frame of you do what I say, you obey my command, this your pussy belongs to me, you're gonna crawl on your hands and knees across the floor and suck my dick, like all of the different perverted things you can say to a woman, there's the words you say, and then there's the subcontext behind it. There's the frame behind that. And that is actually the secret superpower to all this stuff, is every time you drop one of these more perverted, humiliating, or commanding, or making her obey you kind of lines, you're actually reinforcing the frame of your relationship with her, that she does what you tell her to. And she is submissive to you. And you are her daddy. And that is actually the secret superpower behind all of this.
Girls remember the guy that fucked the absolute Christ out of them.
Yes.
And the dirty talk absolutely is the icing on the cake, because it's one thing to just subjugate the shit out of her, right? Just you know what I'm talking about. Just fucking rail her into absolute puddle of submission. But here, that's when she sees your face on her deathbed. And I agree. Let's talk about the largest fear guys have these days, which is the woman being unfaithful and leaving them, right? When you rail her properly sexually and you get her going, you can make her come, and you can fucking, get deep into her mind and talk to her and break her down psychologically during the sex and make her submit, because that's what women want. Women want to submit. Women want to be with a fucking guy that they submit to. Obviously, yes, they want to return on their investment, but they do want to submit to a powerful man who provides for them, who's the total package, right? The fucking money muscles game, right? They want the alpha fucks and the beta bucks. That's their ideal man, right? Alpha provider. And if you could do that, plus fuck the shit out of her, she's not going to have a reason to stray.
Yeah.
There's going to be nothing. There's going to be no reason for her to want it. And the number way to get a girl addicted to you is sexually, unless you like live in a disgusting shithole and there's just aspects of your personality that are just too, bad. That's the way to keep her. And I'm at this point, dude, I don't know, man. I don't know about you, but like at this point in my life, I'm getting on a little bit. I'm gonna be 36 on December 2nd, and I'm like the whole catch and release program is, I'm 200 something chicks deep, right? And so the catch and release program is no longer appealing to me. It's like I want to have like a commune now. You know what I mean? Like just like where my little concubines come through and they take care of me, and I have my top ones, and then there is room for the top girl to be number one, and she'll be taken care of forever, and I'll love her the most and take care of her the most, right? That's but then they'll just be like lesser hoes under her, and having dominance in the bedroom helps you to achieve this, because girls feel scared when they're not with a strong man and a dominant man. They don't feel secure in the relationship at all.
Mm-hmm.
And
that's the entire point. That is why it is so attractive. And I've said this multiple times before, but by being dominant, by being quote unquote aggressive, it shows that you have the capacity for violence. Doesn't mean you're a violent man, but it shows you have the capacity for violence. And if you have the capacity for violence, then it means you actually can protect her and her offspring. That's we travel back in time, evolutionarily speaking, that's why it's an attractive thing. It's why dudes who can fight are attractive. That's why dudes who are in positions of power are attractive, because they can protect and provide for her. And doesn't think about that kind of consciously. This is just the unconscious reaction to that kind of behavior, And you touched on something before, like women don't fuck down. Women only fuck up, right? So, first of all, if you've got a woman and she's sleeping with you, and a lot of guys kind of screw themselves out of relationships because they fall into like bad habits, and they fall into bad language patterns, and they lose frame. And this course is actually secretly, it's actually a course about frame control in a weird way, but frame control through the bedroom. But if she's sleeping with you guys, realize that fundamentally she thinks that you're better than her. She has to think that, otherwise she wouldn't have fucked you. Women do not fuck down. Okay, so in some way, shape, or form, some metric, she thinks that you are better than her.
Right.
So you need to remember that and latch onto that, and not give her a reason to question that. Not give her. We need to reinforce that idea, and we reinforce that idea in the bedroom through dirty talk, through being dominant, through saying shit like, "Who does this fucking pussy belong to?" "It belongs to me, Daddy." "That's right, who's my nasty little slut?" You're reinforcing this idea that you control her, that you're in charge of her, that she is yours, right? And every single time a woman complies with and agrees to and repeats back these kinds of statements that you're making her say, or that you're saying to her, it's slipping deeper and deeper into her subconscious. Right. It's programming her, really. It's reinforcing this idea that, oh, I'm his. I belong to him. He's my protector. He's my provider. Like he's daddy. He's the one in charge. why the fuck would she need to go anywhere else? She wouldn't. Doesn't need to. Doesn't need to go anywhere else because you are now the alpha king shit in her life.
In our corner of the internet, a lot of guys are fixated on, I got to get pussy, I got to get pussy, got to get pussy, got to get pussy, right? But they don't realize the majority of their problems come from keeping the pussy. That's why guys off themselves.
Yep.
That's why guys get upset. That's what they call. That's why they go drinking. They do drugs. They gamble. They go to brothels, whatever, because they don't know how to keep a woman. And the number one way to keep a woman is by establishing a rock solid frame. And if you don't have a rock solid frame, you don't have a rock solid relationship. If you don't have a rock solid relationship, the chances for her leaving is going to be higher. And it just causes a lot of unnecessary stress, right? Yes, you can always get another girl, but you typically don't want to go through the pattern of like, oh, lost this bitch again, lost this bitch again, lost this bitch. Like, you don't want to go through that like every month, every 2 months, every 3 months. It's fucking annoying, right? And so for the guys that are, and not every guy's like us that just wants to like run through everything, right? I'm even getting tired of it. So not that tired though. But the point I'm trying to make here is like the frame is extremely important, and that's what we're talking about, that really is being brought to the table here with your course. So we actually have a sample now.
Yeah, I'm gonna give you a couple of different bits to pick from. Let's go with.
I'm not wearing any pants, just so you know.
Actually, let's go with it. Because I was going to show you this one before. So, because you asked this question about triggering words and like stuff that tends to work for most women versus only a few really perverted, dirty women. That should be up there now.
There we go.
Oh, there we go. Cool.
You just hit play whenever you're ready.
Triggering words. As I said, that last slide is full of stuff that's very, very edgy, very, very risky stuff. That last slide, okay? And there's a few words that, in my experience, can be a bit more triggering for women. I'm yet to find a pattern on exactly which words do which for particular women. So you have to play around with this and do this with caution. But words like bitch, whore, cunt tend to be a bit more triggering and not as well received. Occasionally, slut. Of all of these, slut is usually the most well received. Dumb, stupid, lazy, and fat tend to be really triggering for a lot of women. It's true. Again, if you want to end up there, I would suggest baby stepping it and building up to it. So use these kind of words with caution, because there's a high risk to reward ratio of either flipping her out completely and having her storm off, or kicking you off in the bedroom, or versus getting her completely dripping wet and turning into a dribbling mess of orgasms. Safer words, in my experience, tend to be naughty, dirty, sexy. So naughty girl, dirty girl, sexy girl, good girl, bad girl, little girl. These tend to, in general, go down pretty well with most women. Okay? That's just my... So that is my brief little... Let me stop the screen. That's a little brief primer on like triggering words. Because I sort of chucked it in. I have an entire section in this about like degrading and humiliating language that you can use with women. And I want to make sure I chuck this little triggering kind of warm. I hate that phrase, like trigger warning and triggering words, but like people understand it when you use that expression. But yeah, the whole, especially like dumb, lazy, fat, stupid. I remember once on set,
lazy bitch,
dude. I was working with this girl, and we were doing like kind of like a consent checklist before we shot, and she was like, You can spit in my face, you can slap me, you can choke me, you can pull my hair, you can like put your foot in my head, you can like fist me, you can fist my ass, you can like come in my eyeball, you can call me a whore, call me worthless, call me a piece of shit, but don't call me lazy. Like that was that was her thing. Like she can do all this other stuff, but call me fucking lazy, like she's gonna storm off set. And that's what I mean when I say you have to with some of these words, especially those big four, like dumb, stupid, lazy, fat. You have to kind of be very cautious about using them because you'll know after a sex session or two. You don't have to dive into this sort of more extreme stuff the first time you have sex with a girl, but after a few sessions with a woman, you'll start to get an idea of, okay, this woman really likes the more extreme degrading stuff. And now I can start playing around with far more aggressive kind of language. And here's the reason why you might want to use that kind of language. Going back to what I said before, women only fuck up. They don't fuck down. So if you're using language in the bedroom in a consensual, sexy, fun way, which is degrading, humiliating, what does that do to the power dynamic, right? It puts you on top and it puts her below, where she actually wants to be, by the way.
Where she belongs.
Where she wants to be. Like she wants you to be on top. She wants to look up to you. She wants to be worshiping you and adoring you. Well, okay, good. So how about we reinforce that frame through the language we use in the bedroom? That might be a good idea, wouldn't it not, John?
I just think that where you set the frame in regards to the relationship, it should be equivalent. You can't, because you know what we talk about, like the alpha businessman. He's alpha. He's crushing it in the boardroom. He's like, bitch, this stroganoff is shit. Told you I want fucking lightly salted. And then he goes in the bedroom. He's like, oh, I want to make love to you. He when when he's done having sex with the girl, like the girl, he's the one smoking the cigarette. You know. So no, you have to be fucking. It has to be congruent all the way around, right? And I think I don't think a lot of guys get this because when you do this too, when you dominate them verbally, because I've been doing it for the longest time because I just naturally I'm all about that life, right? And they do enjoy it. They do it. Like I've met girls who have told me like they're like, I just love it. I love you taking control of me. I love, I just love the way you are just taking me, like I just like almost I have no choice. And like I'm just being told what to do. I like it.
Mm-hmm.
And so, you got girls in the audience getting horny right now. She's saying, good God, she's starting off her morning. Fucking, she's going to sign up for the course. But it's so true. It's so true. And how it's done in the bedroom is really, really, really important, especially if you care about retention, right? And it's also a part of like your masculinity, your inner game, because like if you know she's been with another guy that like really dominated her, it's gonna fucking, it's gonna fucking eat away at your confidence, and then it's gonna chip away at the relationship.
I remember I had somebody ask back when I first started my YouTube channel. I had somebody ask me, "Hey, should I be concerned if her ex had a bigger dick than me?"
Right.
And I said, look, I would be far more concerned if her ex was like a professional dom.
Yeah. I think that was on my channel. You said that.
It might have been on your channel. Because that means you fucking, you ain't beating that. I mean, unless you are also a professional dom, you ain't doing anything psychologically to her that he's going to have done. And I'm not saying that everybody has to become a professional dom. Like, I'm not in the BDSM lifestyle, so to speak. I take aspects of BDSM and I use them in my sex life. So there's a difference there, right? But this idea of getting into her psychology is way more powerful than most men think. It's not just about like like laying pipe's great, like and knowing how to hit it right is good. But if you could do that, if you can combine that with hitting her in her subconscious with these few little lines that make her just gush for you and make her brag about you over brunch with her friends. Okay, well now you've solidified that place in her head. Like she ain't replacing you. You know, like she can't get that from most men because most men are too shy to say anything with conviction during the act of sex because most men are too thirsty and they don't have options. They're afraid of like losing it, you know.
Show us some more.
Let's go. I'll actually, you want to see an actual? Let's give you an actual, like, real quick 30-second actual demo of. So I go through the course, right? Let me give you guys a quick breakdown of like what we're doing here. So this course is actually on 50% off just for this week. So right now it's on pre-sale. It launches on Saturday of next week, right? So you got a week to get it 50% off. After that, the price doubles up to $399. Right now it's at $197. So for this week, you get it 50% off. If you act now and get it on pre-sale. That's the first thing I'll say. And the way the course is structured, right? I start off, we go through all the different reasons why Dirty Talk is so powerful and the fact that the different ways you play with the imagination, the different ways you play with the subconscious. Then I go into perfecting your delivery and I teach guys, okay, here's how to actually come across confident and congruent and sexy. Here's how to speak better when you're doing it, right? How to actually make better eye contact, give better body language. And then I also teach guys how to actually get a deeper voice if they want to get a slightly deeper voice. I know plenty of guys asked me about that before. And here's a real quick thing I'll throw in. Have you? I don't know if you've ever done yoga or not before.
I have, yeah.
Have you ever?
Yoga girls are sluts.
Sorry, what was that? What did you say?
Yoga girls are sluts.
But I'll ask you: have you ever heard a yoga instructor with a really high-pitched voice? Because I haven't.
A woman?
Yeah. All the female yoga instructors I've ever met have relatively raspy, kind of deeper voices compared to like the average woman.
That's pretty. I've never even made that connection, but I'm like running through all the yoga girls I fucked now. Do Pilates girls count too?
Maybe not, because there's a reason why
they don't have the fucking the high pitched voice either. But go ahead.
There's a reason why the yoga girls have deeper voices, particularly the instructors or people who are women who've been doing it for fucking forever. And there's two things they do during especially like longer what you'd call like yin yoga or like hot yoga classes. There's two things in particular they do. They focus a lot on like deep belly breathing, which naturally produces a far more resonant, deeper vocal tone. And the second thing they do is that they ohm a lot. They practice these ohm chants again and again and again. And that, believe it or not, is have you ever heard of like Gregorian chanting or these like monks in Tibetan monks and stuff that sit around like chanting ohm all the time? They're all doing it with like it's all super deep, resonant frequency. It's like well, the reason for that is because exactly because of that practice. This like chanting and focusing on the vibrating your voice at a low frequency like that, practicing that again and again and again, helps to develop a far more deeper vocal tone. So we go over stuff like that in the course, and then at the fourth module, I go over a shit ton of different frameworks for dirty talk and a bunch of different examples, like verbatim examples that guys can rip, and then kind of cookie cutter frameworks they can like cut and paste kind of templates they can use of like just insert different things here to create their own stuff. So if they want to get creative, they can get creative, but they have training wheels for it because most guys are worried about what to say, right? And then at the very end, I have a like 15-minute demonstration video of me with a woman, and I'm just sitting there whispering dirty shit in her ear, and we get at a climax, right? So this is I'll show you right now a real quick, just 30 seconds of that 15 minutes, because I don't want your channel to get, it's not super hard, it's not super hardcore, But
I don't give a fuck about this channel. You know that.
let's just be careful.
I don't give a fuck about the censorship. I mean, yeah, I give a shit about the channel, but I don't care about, like, you know, dancing down YouTube's fucking line. Fuck those. Fuck. All right, here we go. All right.
Hopefully
Yeah.
this might be volume might be a little bit low, guys. So like maybe tweak the volume a little bit while we're listening to this. I can tell it is because your clit's getting bigger. That's getting so fucking wide right now. You wouldn't fucking dare come without my permission, no, would you?
No.
Of course you wouldn't. This is my fucking pussy. And only I get to say when this pussy comes. Understand?
Yes.
Yeah. So basically, we get like 15 minutes straight of this kind of shit, where I take her from like it's literally just me sitting there behind her, whispering whatever the fuck comes to my mind for 15 minutes straight. But it gives guys a practical example of like, oh, okay, this is not. I'm not. You can do this during sex, but I'm not doing it during sex. But I'm able to get her off. This proof of concept. I'm able to get her to climax with a little bit of like a tiny bit of clitoral stimulation. I ain't doing too much now. I'm just lightly rubbing the clit down there, right, off camera. But I'm tapping into her biggest sexual organ for like 15 minutes straight. And then I tell her at the very end, I tell her to orgasm, and she orgasms, right? So you get a real life demonstration of basically like come on command with a little bit of physical stimulation. But you can see her arousal go from, 0 to 1 all the way up to a 10 through this whole 15-minute demonstration.
So do you have now how that girl there, how long have you been seeing her, dating her, being whatever with her?
Maybe like a month.
Oh wow. So guys don't necessarily need a long time of relationship.
I think I have been with that woman maybe, I'm trying to think how many times I've seen her. Maybe like 5 times. Like if that. Yeah. Yeah.
Danny G says, I'm trying this tomorrow night.
Good.
Get the
good.
course, boy.
So I want to. This is the whole point. The reason I want. Dudes have been fucking brainwashed in the Western world, and I'm sick of it. I'm sick of dudes walking around thinking they aren't the shit, thinking that like saying I'm not. I could never be dominant. I could never be that guy. I could never be masculine. No, you can. It's in you. It's fucking there. It's in here. You just need to tap into it. It's part of your DNA. Men have forgotten who the fuck they are. You're the builder of worlds. You're the creator of fucking families. Like you're the creator of empires. That's what men do. You do shit. You go out and fucking take what you want, and dudes walk around here drinking fucking soy lattes and putting masks on and fucking cucking themselves. I'm like, stop that shit. Start talking like the kind of fucking man you want to be. Okay, and that's what I'm trying to do with this call. I'm trying to do multiple things at the same time.
I'm trying. You are doing it. For the men that are that have the balls to stand up and actually do it, dude. I mean, let's talk about that, right? Like the look. In this time that I've had off, I've been doing a lot of coaching sessions with all types of people. I've been doing it with professional therapists. I've been doing it with masculine therapists in our community. I've been doing it with hypnotherapists. And I've been doing all of this stuff to really elevate myself. A lot of people just think I'm like just sitting around having sex all day, which I am. But also I am doing a lot of self-development. And one thing that I'm realizing is the biggest thing to change yourself as a man, as a human, is self-talk. I have crafted a multi-million-dollar empire, and it started with self-talk and affirmations. If I can create a multi-million-dollar empire, a global network of men, powerful men who are also making millions under my watch, that alone should show you the power of words. Now, translating that to what we have here, the power of words can easily bring a woman to orgasm or to be more emotionally connected to you with sex involved as well. Words are very, very powerful. And the thing is this too. Look, a lot of guys have sexual insecurities and they don't talk about it publicly. Okay. They avoid it, they don't conquer it, they run away from it. And when you run away from your problems, eventually they compound. The insecurity and pain that you running away from compounds and eventually pops up later in life. Okay. It just gets worse and worse and worse and it just comes out like something that you're like 42 and you just have like a breakdown in the parking lot. Right. And so by running towards your insecurities, right? Because a lot of guys are insecure. Can I sexually please this woman? Was she fucking sexually pleased or not? Right. If you can handle one part of your life, conquer one insecurity, that will open your mind and give you the confidence to conquer other parts of your mind that are you have insecurities about. So if you are truly insecure about your sexual performance and your ability to perform with women, Sterling's course and Sterling Cooper is the man to talk to. I have personally received plenty of coaching from Sterling, and I am still receiving ongoing coaching from Sterling now to take my game to the next level. Okay. So if I am somebody that you respect, then you should know that we are not in a position where I'm above you or below you or standing in front of you or watching you from behind. I am standing next to you. I am on this fucking journey with you. And I can tell you, like what he's telling you guys now is super important for part of you to reclaim your masculinity, especially if you're having self-esteem issues regards this. I mean, can I ask you a private question?
Go ahead. Go ahead.
You obviously made your dick grow 1.2 inches, right?
Mm-hmm.
After growing your dick and making it bigger, like not growing your dick, did you have like a complex about small dick where you're just like, fucking, I just wish my dick was bigger? Obviously it had some kind of effect on you because you did it.
Yeah, it was for me. Honestly, it was like I did my first. The reason here's the story. I did my first ever porno back in Melbourne, in Australia, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I did it, and then like it got released like a week or two later, and I looked at the footage, looked at the photos. I'm like, shit, my dick looks small. I need to do something about this. That was basically it. I was like, God damn, if I'm going to actually make a career, and I wanted to make a career out of this, I was like, I decided, well, this is what I'm going to do now. I've dove in head first. Well, I better fucking find a way to like improve my on-camera asset. Right?
Mm.
And so that's why I was obsessed with this shit. But most people don't understand. I like slept on my best friend's couch for like 6 fucking months. I was broke, poor. All I did, I just obsessed over this, over how to fix this problem and how to like that, like the growing the dick thing and like the getting boners on command stuff and like the delaying my orgasms, like all the tools I needed to succeed in the porn industry. That is all I fucking focused on, like to the neglect of everything else for like a year straight. And that is why that's how I was able to go from like a shit munching 3,000 person country town in Australia to like shooting in the porn capital of America, Los Angeles, and winning awards. It's like that's how I did it, by being obsessed with the fucking thing.
Yep. There's a guy in my life, back in my life when I was like 26, right? And he criticized me and he was like, you're just so obsessed with like getting your fucking life together and becoming a YouTube star. He's like, it's so fucking weird. And that guy is just still circling the drain.
Yeah.
It's fucking great to look back and watch him suffer quick because he was such an asshole to me. But hey, it is what it is. But obsession is the way you get things done, whether you want to believe it or not, right? Obsession gets a bad rep, but all obsession is laser focus. That's all it is.
Yeah, exactly. And I've actually recently had a similar experience. I had a couple of friends from back in my college days hit me up, and they'd seen some of my tweets recently or something. They're like, that kind of fake concern is like, they reached out to me like, are you doing okay, man? I'm like, yeah, I'm fucking fantastic. What are you talking about? They're like, oh, I don't know, man. Like your Twitter, it's did it get hacked or something? I'm dropping like red pill shit on there these days, and they're like, I don't know, man. It seems kind of degrading to women and stuff. I'm like, oh, God, here we go. Like I spit in women's faces and put my foot on their head for a living, and like you're worried about me saying truths about male and female nature, and it's like them that kind of fake like help, that fake concern of like, oh, you shouldn't be saying these things, man, is exactly the reason why that kind of mentality is exactly the reason why Australia is completely cucked right now and is turned into prison island, because all these men just fucking roll over and don't put their foot down for anything. They've got no principles that they stand on, and they don't understand reality. But it's just it's neither here nor there. But one more thing I forgot to mention that I should mention about that's included in this course is like I actually talk about a whole bunch of stuff that guys can do before they even have sex with a woman. To basically, what I like to like, everybody has different aspects of their personality that they bring out around different people, right? So I'm different around my dad than I'm different around, like, say, you. Like, I'll use slurs a lot more with you than I would around my father, for example. Versus, person B is probably different around their boss than they are around their significant other. Like, we all have different aspects of our personality that we choose who we give it to. And with women, if you're looking to be sexually intimate with a woman, you probably want that sexually intimate side of her to come out around you. You don't want to be in the friend zone. You don't want to be the foodie call, right? You don't want her to consider you like that. So I talk about an idea in this course. It's called sexual framing, and it's something you can do before you even sleep with her. And the idea is that it elicits certain personality traits from her that she already has, because she's not a virgin. She's already fucked somebody, but it elicits these personality traits around you, which makes it way quicker for you to sleep with her. And I've been doing this for like 10 fucking years. And I started sharing some of this shit with my housemate Justin Waller, who says hi, by the way, Jay Waller, and he was like, Jesus Christ, Sterling, like he's like, here's a little comparison. So Justin is a stupidly handsome man, very, very charming. He gets like girls' numbers, fucking no problem.
Right. I'm
a little bit lazier with that kind of shit. But when I do take a girl out on a date, she gets fucked. My close rate is stupid. And he was complaining the other day. He's like, dude, I've never seen someone pull a girl home in like the middle of the day and fuck her after a coffee date. I'm like, oh, it's just. But there's a system to it. Like, I've been doing this shit for a while.
Come on, Justin.
What was that?
Amateur hour over there. Come on,
like
Justin.
An amateur hour.
Come on, Justin. Oh man.
Yeah, but basically that's the crux of what I'm trying to. I think in the last 50 minutes, I've kind of given you guys an encapsulation of what I am teaching in this Dirty Talk 101 course. But like I said, if any of you guys are curious about getting better in the bedroom overall, if you want to find a different perverted, kinky way to get women off, if you want to build your self-esteem in the bedroom, that's a big one. Again, like you mentioned before, the language you use dictates your beliefs, right?
Yes.
And if you want to learn how to develop a solid foundation on which to build a longer-term relationship, or even a shorter-term relationship, if you just want to have a bit of fun, but get the best out of her, the best version of her, well, then that's exactly what I teach you in this course.
Beautiful. I love it. I love it a lot. So get the course. It's in the links in the description below. Real quick, my buddy says, but in regards to growing the dick, is it just the length or the girth you can grow? The answer is both.
Yep. It's actually easier to get girth than it is to get length.
And a lot of guys don't seem to realize this, that girth is actually more important than length when it comes to sexually pleasing a woman. They're more,
absolutely, they
want to get filled out more, not filled in.
Yeah. With it, like, beyond a certain like length, there's like, stupidly long doesn't really do anything for you. Stupidly long just kind of hurts a lot of women. Obviously, if you're quite short, you can't hit certain points within the vagina. So, okay, adding a little bit extra there if you're sort of undersized is good because you can hit different spots in the vagina. But like John just said, girth is the real key factor because when dudes talk about big dicks, they're referring to long ones. When women talk about big dicks, they're always referring to the thicker ones. And I know this because I've heard, like, that's my industry. Like, that is what, like, every time a female co-star is like, oh, so-and-so has a big dick, it's the thickness they're referring to.
Yep.
They're not referring to the length.
Very, very, very interesting. The world of men goes lower and lower and deeper, and there's so many levels to this. Like, like you think you're just at the surface level of getting sex, but then you go lower another level, lower another level. You just got to see how deep the rabbit hole goes. But we got that here with your course. So it's available. Links in the description below. I will say that the sexual domination course is really the growing your dick and the sexual domination course, really, 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 really good stuff.
Thank you.
And then the dirty talk course on top of that is also going to be fantastic. So that being said, we're out. We love you guys. When they got until? When do they got until?
They have until the 27th of November to get it at half price. And make sure you use John's link so you get to kickback. But you got until the 27th of November, so don't hesitate. Jump on it now. Otherwise, it goes up to $399. Get it right now for $197, but only until the 27th of November.
So what is the format of the course? It's a completely automated video course.
Yep. You just go through it step by step. I give you homework. I actually give you some homework to do at the end. I give you a full live demonstration, breakdown of being played out in action. And then, we talk about the importance of dirty talk, how to deliver it properly, things you do before you even get into the bedroom, and then a shit ton of examples in the bedroom themselves that you can rip verbatim.
I love it. I love it. All right, guys. Until then, we'll see you next time.